What's up? Hi there.
Tyler, Keith here. Plugged on. We're here with another ranking. We're going to be talking about Anthrax. We're going to rank all 11 Anthrax albums. We're going to close out the big four. We've done Metallica, we've done Slayer, we've done Megadeth. Now we got to do Anthrax.
Yeah.
There's some other rankings that, you guys put in the comments and stuff that we're definitely going to do. We'll just take a little bit of time to get there. Anyways, Anthrax, number 11.
Stomp 442. This album's not memorable.
No.
In any way, shape.
This album is fucking awful.
Yeah. It's not, like, if you told me to try to, if you say, pull out, like, one moment from this album, I honestly couldn't do it. I mean, because a lot of songs are just weird. Like, American Pompeii is a weird song, and, what's the first track? I thought the first track was also very weird. It was, Random Acts of Senseless Violence. It's just like, it's just a weird album. It doesn't sound very Anthrax, and it's just out there, I feel.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, it's either extremely weird in ways that it just doesn't work, or it's generic as shit.
Yeah.
And it just does not go together. Drop the Ball is the song to me that kind of sums up Stomp 442. That song's fucking terrible.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with this album.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's a whole train wreck, and it's unfortunate that this follows Sound of White Noise, which is actually a very good album. It's just kind of like, what the hell happened? So, yeah, number 10, we have Volume 8. This album is kind of along the lines of Stomp 442, in my opinion. Just not as bad. Like, it's more tolerable to listen to. But there's a lot of just strange moments on. I think John Bush just does not sound great at times on here. And I mean, it has a big, fat, thick sound to it and everything, but it's just, overall, it's just absolutely nothing that I would come back to. And I'm not shitting on the John Bush era of Anthrax just because, one, I'm a bigger fan of Joey Belladonna's work with them, or, just to hate on it because it's different. I love all sorts of different styles of metal and rock and stuff. I just don't think this shit is good. That's just my thought on that. And Volume 8 is along the lines of Stomp 442 to me of, like, I would absolutely never, ever come back to this. If I want to listen to John Bush era Anthrax, you have one great album and another one that's pretty alright as well. Listen to those two albums. I don't care if it's more melodic. I don't care. It's just not good stuff. The songwriting is not there. The musicianship is not, in my opinion, where it should be for Anthrax. So, yeah.
Next we have Weve Come For You All, which is, I think, the last John Bush album that they did. And this one's a little bit more return to form for Anthrax. It sounds a bit more like classic Anthrax. And there's actually some, fairly good songs on here. What was the one that we were listening to that we both...
Safe Home.
Safe Home's
solid.
And like some of the songs, like towards the end of the album, I really did like, because it's kind of, again, it's more of the classic Anthrax, and it feels a lot more like the rest of the stuff. I feel like this album still suffers from some of the weirdness that sits with the albums that came before it, but like Tyler said, it's definitely a lot more tolerable. I mean, when we, listening through it, I really couldn't get through all of Stomp 442 or Volume 8, whereas this one was actually able to somewhat enjoy listening to the whole thing, so that should be plenty indication enough of, on this album, that's, you can actually finish it in a lot of, or at least I could, in a lot of ways, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's some solid jams on here, and I think John Bush also sounds solid on here as well. I mean, he sounds really good. And it's nothing that this era of Anthrax is different, it's supposed to be. They took a totally different direction. John Bush is a totally different vocalist than Joey Belladonna. It's just a matter of if it's good or not. I think this album is good. It's a fun album to listen to, It's a little bit more along the lines of Sound of White Noise to me. Just without... It just kind of lacks a huge hook. I think, on really any of the songs.
Yeah.
You know, compared to Sound of White Noise. Number 8, we have Fistful of Metal. Their debut album. I love Fistful of Metal. I think it's a fucking great album from just about start to finish. And to me, it's filled with a lot of great riffs and just very nice guitar harmonies at times. The song Panic is so Iron Maiden. It's fucking awesome how great that song is. I love the guitar solos, and then when the guitar harmonies come in and all that stuff, it's awesome. But to me, you know, it's the riffs. Death Rider is an incredible song riff-wise. Panic is another really good one. Soldiers of Metal. There's a lot of just awesome stuff on here. It's a pure thrash album, and Neil Turbin sounds good on it. This is the only album he did with Anthrax before they got Joey Belladonna, and you know, it's a fun album to listen to. It's not an album that I go back to with Anthrax a lot, but in terms of like debuts from the Big Four, this is one of my favorites. I think it's good. It's a solid old school 80s sounding thrash album. So
yeah, and I think this album has one of the stronger starts to, again, some of these debut albums with Death Rider, Metal Thrashing Mad, and weirdly enough, was a cover of I'm 18 by Alice Cooper, which works for this album, but it's just, especially when you look back, it's kind of a weird pick in a lot of ways, but it's still cool. Number 7, Worship Music from 2011. So,
wow.
I genuinely love this album. I think it's a little bit more of like it's not a pure thrash album, but there's a lot of good grooves, and like, at least in my opinion, if you count the first track, which is like just an intro, I think the first 6 songs are all great from this album. I mean, you have Earth on Hell, which is really cool. You have The Devil You Know, which is super fucking catchy. You have Fight 'Em Till You Can't, which is like a more traditional thrash song, and I think honestly has one of the best solos Anthrax has ever done in a song. And the songs like I'm Alive and In the End is a fucking awesome, just kind of like anthem-y song. And it's great because, you know, again, this is an album, this is where they got Joey Belladonna back, and it just seems like everything kind of clicked after there's somewhat of a rough patch from Stomp 442 on. So it was kind of nice to see them kind of return to form with something that's a little bit more akin to their classic sound on this. Yeah. And it's like, and it worked. And it's also really weird when you think about the fact that, I guess, like, they didn't even, like, Joey Belladonna didn't even, like, record the vocals. With, like, he was just off somewhere else, and then when he did his vocals for this album and stuff like that, so.
I remember being so excited for this album, especially when they started putting the first singles out, and then just listening to this album over and over again, because it's like, I can't believe, like, there's new Anthrax music.
Yeah.
And Joey Belladonna's back, and it's old school. I mean, what Weve Come For You All was 2003, and this was 2011. I mean, that's a long time in between studio albums there, and then bringing Joey back. It's great. Number 6, we had The Sound of White Noise. I think this album is honestly really, really good.
Yeah.
So this is the first John Bush album that they did after Joey left. It's definitely a shift for Anthrax, but to me, I thought John Bush just, you know, what they did, like, the guitars and the riffs were different, but they still had that Anthrax feel to them. They still had that just stomping around, heavy, crunchy sound, but they also had a lot more of a melodic side to them. John Bush just brought a completely different feel to it on vocals. I think it has one of my favorite Anthrax songs, definitely as of late, which is Only. You know, that's probably the biggest John Bush era Anthrax song, and that song is just so catchy. But there's other really good ones too, like Room for One More is awesome. The opening track, I think it's Pompey Fields, or no, I'm blanking on it. Something.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up.
I really enjoy this album as well. And it's because it's manages to temper, again, the differences that comes with the last couple albums. And again, I agree with Tyler. Only's become one of my favorite Anthrax songs. And this album's really grown on me over time. Like, the more I listen to it, the more I really like this album. Because, again, it's again, as I said, similar enough, but then there's enough difference to make it interesting.
Pottersfield.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I love that song. It's a great song.
Okay.
Yeah, I like good shit. Invisible's good. Black Lodge, that's another good one. Yeah. Need to listen to that out more. It's cool. It's totally different for Anthrax, but I love it. Yeah.
Number 5, Persistence of Time. So, this album, I feel like is probably, well, not feel like, I mean, as you can tell by this, probably the weakest of the classic era Anthrax albums, but there are a lot of great songs in here. I mean, Time is a great opening track. I really like Keeping in the Family. I love it, especially like the chorus of that song. It has Got the Time, which is one of the most fun live songs ever. And like other songs like Belly of the Beast, I just feel like this album is a little bit of a different step because like at least you can kind of see State of Euphoria being like, let's do what we did with Among the Living and just, kind of keep that up. Whereas this album does sound a little bit different. It's a little bit more, I feel, back to like serious Anthrax in a lot of ways, like how Spreading the Disease in their first album was, which is great. And like, Gridlock and Intruder Reality. There's just a lot of good, honestly underrated Anthrax songs in this album. And it's like, I feel like this album doesn't get as much of the recognition as it deserves in a lot of ways.
No, I fucking love this album. And there's a lot of really underrated songs, like you were saying. But also, this album is really long. Like, these songs are all like 5, 6, 7 minutes long. And you're getting a lot of riffage and a lot of really great vocals from Joey Belladonna on there. There's just a ton of great songs. I mean, as a whole, I mean, it's fantastic. Number 4, we have State of Euphoria. State of Euphoria is cool, and it definitely is them trying to do kind of an Among the Living Part 2 sort of thing. I mean, it came out a year later, but there are some really awesome songs in here. I think Be All End All is probably one of the best Anthrax songs out there. Antisocial is one that they play all the time. Out of Sight, Out of Mind is great. Make Me Laugh, Schism. There's a lot of really, really great stuff on here. Again, kind of like underrated sounding songs to me. It's like there's a ton of like go-to Anthrax songs, but this and Persistence of Time to me have a lot of songs on there where I'm listening to them like, damn, why don't I listen to this song more from Anthrax? Because there's a lot of really quality material on there, but it has that fun, goofy, corny at times sounding lyrics and vocals from Joey Belladonna that kind of started with Among the Living, and it's a fun album.
Number 3, we have the newest album by Anthrax. We have For All Kings from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
This album, I think, is a lot better than it has any right to be. This album is awesome. From the opening track with You Gotta Believe, and I honestly think it has some of the best Anthrax tracks that they've done. I mean, For All Kings anymore might be my favorite Anthrax song.
It's great.
And it's like, I mean, it has a slight power metal feel, which thinking about it makes sense, but like, it's like, oh wow, didn't really think about that. Evil Twin, that's a song that grew on me. I wasn't the biggest fan of that song when it first came out, but the song fucking grew on me. I mean, Breathing Lightning, it's a great song. Suzerain has I really love the chorus of that song. Blood Eagle Wings, song with another great chorus. Yeah. It's just like, this is, again, Anthrax kind of taking, again, with like the how more groovy the worship music, but then also adding like the classic, more straight thrashy stuff and aspects of this album, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, and also this album just has choruses that just fucking jam. I mean, Breathing Lightning and Blood Eagle Wings are 2 choruses to me that just fucking jam. It's awesome. Also, All of Them Thieves has one of the chunkiest fucking riffs.
Yeah, it does.
I love For All Thieves, or Among All Thieves.
All of Them Thieves.
Yeah. God, I can't speak. Whatever.
I got you.
Number 2, Spreading the Disease. I got this for $7.99.
I was about to just comment on that.
R.I.P. CD Warehouse. I'm gonna cry. Spreading the Disease to me is an incredible album with a lot of just amazing thrash songs. This is their first album with Joey Belladonna, and I think that he comes in and he just kills it on this album. And there's so many songs. I mean, people are going to point to Madhouse and Medusa as two incredible songs, which they are two incredible songs. Especially like Madhouse is one of the heaviest songs out there, thrash songs and Anthrax songs. You know that main riff is awesome, but Medusa just has this weird sex appeal to it that I absolutely love. That riff is amazing. Joey's vocal line during those verses is amazing. But I mean, it's the other songs on here that stand out a lot to me. The Enemy and Aftershock are awesome. Low Justice is an incredible song from start to finish. Gung Ho is another one that's just super fun to listen to. All these songs are great, and I really, really wish Anthrax would like dip into this album a little bit more live on tour and stuff, because there are so many songs on here that I would love to hear live. And this is just an Anthrax album that I always find myself coming back to. You know, it's got a lot of great shit to it. So.
Yeah, the only thing I'll really add is there's I like the grooves and the riffs on this album. Probably like I don't know why I like this part of the song so much, but one of my favorite parts of the album is the ending to Gung Ho, when it just fucking goes into like the weird guitar part. I don't know what the fuck to call it, and it's just a fun time, man.
It really is.
The whole fucking album.
Yeah.
And then number one, it's kind of not really much of a surprise here.
No.
It's Among the Living. I honestly think probably one of the best albums by the Big Four, mostly because of the fact there's not a bad song on this album. Every song stands out in its own different ways, from to the title track, which has become like one of my favorite songs from this album lately, to Caught in a Mosh, I Am the Law, and Indians, which are fucking three of the best Anthrax songs ever written, especially with that fucking middle section of Indians, which is like one of the best thrash metal riffs ever written. It's like One World, which is pretty cool. Skeletons in the Closet. NFL is a fucking fun, goofy song. It's just like, this album very much captures everything Anthrax is. It's fun, but it's thrashy as fuck.
Yeah.
In like every way.
And it sometimes has some of the heaviest stuff. It's such an incredible album. Like I think this is not only the best Anthrax album, one of the best thrash albums. I think this is just one of the best heavy metal albums to ever be written and recorded. I mean, it is perfection from start to finish. With just, I mean, I'm not going to drone on. Every single song on here to me is incredible, and there's so many classics. Also, being able to hear this whole album from start to finish live,
that was really cool.
Was awesome. Yeah, that was an awesome tour to hear them do that. Because I mean, most of these songs they probably won't play live anymore. But songs like "Skeleton in the Closet's" a song off this album recently that I've just been jamming a lot. That song's awesome. It's just it has everything I love about Anthrax. Like, it has the riffs that are awesome and heavy and thrashy, great vocals from Joey, and great vocal lines, but also just like those fucking awesome just gang vocals. Nobody does gang vocals as good as Anthrax.
No.
And especially in thrash. And that's something on here that's just awesome. But it's just an album that's always going to put a smile on your face. And some people point to the Joey Belladonna era of Anthrax as being corny and all that stuff. Sometimes it is, yeah, absolutely. But you're not going to listen to these songs and not have fun.
Yeah.
Listening to them, you know?
But my answer to that is, so?
Exactly. Exactly.
Your point being?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. That's our ranking of all the Anthrax albums. The only ranking that matters.
Exactly. So this one was a very easy one to put together. It
was probably the easiest one we've done.
Yeah. Because everything just fucking matched up real nice.
Yep. Exactly. So let us know your ranking. Thanks for watching. See you later.